a different area today. While I'm waiting, I'll go through the shout outs. I've got, and I hope I say this right, Hel Egeskov, or Here, or Hesler, depending on how you pronounce that, Egeskov, from Denmark. Thank you very much for commenting on our videos. And Suzanne Parry, who asked us about our wooden boat, which I will try and remember to address when I get inside. Hello, Prananda, good afternoon to you that are watching. Be sure to comment so that I know who you are and I can say hello back. Croeso i'r Venture, welcome to the Venture, or nearly the Venture. We're actually, if I flip this round, we're just outside of the Venture. In fact, this area was a lot more overgrown when I left, and it appears that it's become more used. This path was cut through. That's definitely less thick with overgrowth than it was before. Now, the reason I'm starting out here today is that I've had a message from somebody asking about the accessibility of the Venture for wheelchair users. So rather than try and explain the landscape, I thought the best way to do that would be to do a quick little video to show you the geography of the place. So if I switch this round, this is the back of the Venture. Now, just over the crest of the hill there, we have our top gate, which I will show you on the other side. And then these paths, one that goes to the Garner Road there, there's a bit of a bike stop there, and then this path that goes to the side gate. Now, as you can see, this is just a dirt path, often quite littered. This was, oh, look at the mushrooms there. This once was sort of landscaped a bit. This is actually ash from the fire pit that I laid down quite a few years ago now, but it seems to do the job of keeping the grass and other weeds from growing through it and keeping it as a path. And it is quite flat, but it's not to a standard grade or gradient either. So I'm not sure how useful that is as a wheelchair user. And that leads to our side gate, which is on the side of the Mugger, if you can see through there, but that's obviously locked because it's during the day and it's term time, so that's locked. This path continues round the side here. You can't really see the path, but there's a path there from the road, regular pavement, and this path doesn't actually carry on, it stops there. So the main point of access would be from the road, from that pavement there. If we just have a quick look at the end of the road, so it goes up to a crossing over there and to the pavement of Garner Road, which can be accessed from either way. Again, I would imagine this way would be the best because they are the least steep ways in. So now we come to the entrance of the Venture, which again, unfortunately, isn't too great. There is quite a ramp. This is going onto the car park here, I'll show you. Just got a couple of young people fixing their bikes behind the minibus. So this is probably another obstacle. It's a bit hard to tell. I'll try and come around the side here so you can get an idea. But there's a bit of a ramp down there, which, unaided, might be a bit difficult for a wheelchair user. However, we do have Rob, who I'm sure many of you from the area know. He's a wheelchair user, and he's been coming down here for many years. I've not seen him since I've returned. So Rob, if you're watching, or if you watch later on, please get in touch. We'd love for you to come down and help us out with this, because this is probably something that we don't think of on a regular enough basis. If I look here, this is another access point to the Mugger, which would be of not much use, because there's a jump up there to the curb and then a jump up again. So that wouldn't be suitable for wheelchair users. As we've had a lot of rain, it's extended out here to the drive, but obviously in the dry you could just cut straight across there, but you can get round here. And now we have another barrier. You've got the Mugger over there, which I'll show you, but we now go on to the sand pit, which is just sand, which anybody in a wheelchair who's been to the beach can tell you is sand is not easy to navigate unless you have special tyres to put on the wheelchair, which are probably very expensive. These sort of gradients, there are gradients around. This was put in the other day to sort of make it easier for bikes to get around. This is the mugger. So that's the side gate over there where we were earlier, and you can all tarmacked. So you can get around the mugger to this area, and this is perhaps where we used to have it right, and unfortunately when renovations have taken place we slipped up, because there used to be this planking or decking would come from here where it's all still tarmacked, and would come from here and extend onto the playground and then around the playground. For those of you who aren't aware, there used to be a big castle there, which was a focal point, and those ramps, or the decking, which is like here, would go all the way around and across to the fire pit, and then around to the castle. Unfortunately, that decking no longer links here. It just goes from the mugger, well, to the sand straight away, and then you've got this ramp here, not ramp, decking here, which would be very difficult to access, and that only actually allows you to get round to there. So you've got a sort of arena seat really, without easy access to the rest of the playground. This path here to the top gate, which I pointed out before, this is just gravel. So again, and it's a bit steep and probably uneven, not the easiest to access with a wheelchair, especially if you're on your own. So yeah, the picture, unfortunately, is not very great as far as accessibility goes. I think that is definitely something that we need to discuss as an organisation and as a team. Perhaps there are little things that we can do that would facilitate accessibility being a little better here. As for the structures themselves, again, they're accessed by there's stairway there, and then through stairway there, or through climbing the landscape, which as a wheelchair bound user wouldn't be accessible. But again, perhaps if there were to be adaptations made to the structure, the higher up structure, that could be something that we could look into. There are things that can be retrofitted, but again, I would imagine that's quite an outlay of cost for material and actually installing it in the correct manner. However, I am not one to say that cost should dictate what we do. This place is so important for children and young people, and it is probably more important to children and young people who have accessibility difficulties, because you know they have to socialise and play just as much as anybody else, and they are probably isolated from more play opportunities and opportunities to socialise than able-bodied children. I apologise, by the way, if I'm using any terminology that is out of date. My sister has cerebral palsy, so I most certainly would not wish to cause offence, and I would like to hope that I approach things with accessibility in mind. But it's actually not something that has occurred to me since I've been here. So thank you very much to the person that's messaged in. I won't give out your name because, you know, I'm not sure whether you want it out there, but by all means I hope you watch this and this can sort of inform you, albeit a pretty negative point of view as far as accessibility on the playground goes. However, I am going to head inside because the picture is a little bit different inside. For those of you who aren't aware, we're not just an adventure playground, we are what we call an integrated children's centre. So what that means is that we've got various services that all use this location, or this place that we call the Venture, and the building is a little bit more accessible. So behind me we have the playground, and just around here where I came from earlier, apart from that ramp down from the drive, we now get access to the building. So that's through these brown doors, which all the ground and floor is pretty flat. Now you can come through here. We've got a computer room on the ground floor, or internet room according to that sign. we've got our room where our health visitor comes. So that's all on the ground floor, that's all flat. And then that comes through here, where we have a kitchen. One kitchen there, and another kitchen there. That's our Flying Start Early Years Centre, with a male toilet, female toilets, and then this is our accessible toilet out here, which will be available for disabled users. And the piece de resistance, the lift. So that's to the top. Whoop, lost the connection there for a second. Access to the top floor, we've got a meeting room up there, various offices, and of course Malcolm's office and the reception. But I'm not going to go up there because people might be doing confidential things in their offices. But yeah, if you ever had training here, which is in that room, just there. Oh, we went again. That is accessible. So yeah, it's a conversation that we need to have, I think, and I'm glad that you sent that message. It's a bit of a different video today. As it happens, there isn't a lot of play evidence or play archaeology around. I have had a quick wander. Looks like it was a very wet night last night in Wrexham. Apparently it was in Denbigh. I slept through it all. Oh, and we've got a piece of Eiddo Coll, or lost property. What have we got here? It's a Nike waterproof, which will be very handy at the moment, with this sort of luminous yellow or green inside. I'll go and put that on the fire pit. The only other thing that I saw of play evidence, or evidence that people had been here, was this red box. So that is now on these pallets here as a sort of aid, I think, to pass the rope up for the American swings. So that's now moved there from over there, where I think somebody was trying to use it to gain access to the structures. So there you have it. Thanks for tuning in. It's a bit of a different one today, but I think it's a very important subject, and something that we need to discuss and address as a company. So thank you very much to you that messaged in. Thank you for watching. Tata Ruan, and I have a new catchphrase for today because I've been watching some inspiring YouTube videos, and that is stay fierce. No, stay savage. I can't even get it right, can I? Stay savage. So if you're watching, whose catchphrase that is, good work. Keep it up. Maybe tone down the language. It's very colourful. But yeah, stay savage. Thanks for watching. Tata Ruan.